If you just picked up the new DJI Osmo Action 5, you're probably wondering what accessories you need to unlock its full potential. Well, you're in luck because I compiled the 10 best accessories that'll take your Action 5 from good to absolutely incredible. Especially the last one, because if you're serious about content creation, you can't afford not to know about it. Now, before we dive in, I just want to let you know that this video is not sponsored by DJI or by any of the accessories companies that I'm going to mention in this video. I bought all these accessories and tested them myself. So you're gonna get my honest take about what's actually worth your money. Trust me, there's a lot of great ones in here. Like this handle and cage combo. The DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro is incredibly small, which is great for portability, but terrible for actually holding steady in your own hands. If you're setting and forgetting it, cool, no problem. But if we're hand holding it, combining it with a cage actually transforms this tiny camera into a proper filmmaking tool. You get some mounting points on every side, top, left, bottom, right. And the handle? Well, it's the difference between having shaky amateur footage and smooth professional looking footage. Trust me, you'll enjoy the ergonomics much better. When it comes to stabilization, yes, there is the Rocksteady Plus mode to help fix your shaky footage. But with the cage and handle, you can properly handle the Action 5 like a proper camera. And when you finally have this combo, we let the built-in stabilization help the footage instead of just fixing it with all the extra jitters and jerks. And if you look closely, you'll notice that there is a shutter button beside the cage. These are all good things, but one downside is that these are two separate products, and it'll cost you around $50 US. You can shop around for different versions of each, just make sure that you are buying the correct cage that actually lines up well with the handle. I had to buy two other cages before I got it right. To set this particular cage up, you just slide your camera through the cage, close the door, mount your button on the top, and then mount your handle on the side. That's it. As an alternative, you can try this 3D printed product, which is $15 US. Looks promising for a budget, and the links to all these products will be in the description. Once you have that cage, you're gonna want to mount your camera in many places that seem impossible, which brings me to my absolute favorite accessory that opens up creative possibilities you've never considered. Or maybe you have but couldn't pull it off. And that's the Neewer clamp and articulating arm. This without a doubt is my favorite purchase from the entire list. The Neewer super clamp and articulating arm combo is a game changer. You can clamp this thing to rails and fence posts, car parts, table edges. If you can clamp it, you can mount it. Just tighten the clamp where you need it, then adjust the tension knob of the arm, and as you tighten that knob, the ends will also stiffen up and lock your gear in place. But here's what really makes it good. The articulating arm lets you position your camera in ways that would be impossible with traditional tripods or mini tripods. You can go from a POV shot to an overhead angle to a side profile just by loosening and tightening your super clamp and arm. This setup is the main reason why I hardly carry around a mini tripod with me anymore. The build quality is solid, and once you lock it down, it's not moving. Just make sure you get the version with the anti-twist features, or your camera will slowly rotate and loosen up over time. Just ask me how I know. The one that I use is the 11-inch version by Neewer, and it's $27 US, which is a great price for the quality of what you're getting. Now, you can mount your camera and get it positioned perfectly, but what if you need to go completely hands-free? The next accessory is perfect for that, and it's essential for any action sport or POV content. For a true hands-free operation, you need a body mount or a chest mount. Chest mounts give you that stable action sport perspective. Neck mounts are pretty good for casual vlogging and even in conversational purposes, but if you're gonna be moving around a lot, I prefer chest mounts for this more active style of shooting, as they're more stable and comfortable for longer periods of time. Last thing that I need is to have a neck mount and the action camera bopping me in the face as I run around. The one that I use is by Telesin, and it's a little awkward to secure the body with the strap, but hey, it gets the shot and it's secure. Just rest the necklace portion on your neck, secure the loose strap around your body, and then thread into the necklace portion, ending it with just snapping the necklace in place. Make any adjustments that you need to with your camera, and we're good to go. Now, I don't do anything like motorcycling or any of those kinds of like vehicular kind of like sports activities, so maybe you would prefer something like a helmet mount instead. The chest mount though is great for vertical and horizontal orientation if that's something that you're concerned about as well. The chest mount that I'm using is from PGY Tech and it's $29 US. Alright, so you got your camera mounted, but sometimes you need to stick your camera in places where even a clamp won't work and a chest mount won't do the job. That's where this next accessory will become your lifesaver. The newer suction cup mount. It opens up mounting possibilities that clamps just can't handle. Car windshields, smooth walls, glass surfaces, or even the side of your refrigerator. If it's smooth and clean, you can mount it. I've used this to be able to get some car interior shots. I've mounted it to windows for overhead shots, and have even recommended someone to stick it on their microwave for top-down cooking shots. Yeah, I don't have that kind of setup yet. For such a simple invention, the suction is incredibly strong. Just place it on the surface that you want to position it, then while pressing against the cup, just press the side button to activate the suction mechanism until the button will no longer press. Now, if you've never bought one of these before, you know you're getting a quality kind of mount for suction. It allows for rotation, but also locks for that rotation, and it also has multiple mounting points around that suction. This particular kit does come with a small articulating arm, but if you use the 11-inch articulating arm that we mentioned before, that's the combo. By attaching the articulating arm, you're able to position your camera exactly where you need it. And when you're done, just pull the release tab and it comes right off. No residue, no damage. Well, at least I haven't had any issues. Now that we got our mounts covered, if you actually want to know how to get your footage to look professional instead of amateur, you absolutely need to know about the next accessory. This is where the Action 5 really shows its limitations. You see, when we try to follow the rule of thumbs and follow all these filmmaking rules, this is what our image looks like. In sunny bright conditions, we're fighting this, what they call overexposure, the super bright portions of our image. And to compensate for that, we do something like increase our shutter speed. But when we do that, we lose our cinematic motion blur. That's where these filters can solve just that. Specifically, these ND filters. They're like sunglasses, but for your camera. Just unscrew our current lens of the Action 5 and thread on any of these new ones. Now, if we're not using these filters and are choosing to shoot action stuff, well, you're gonna have lots of light. Now, normally, I wouldn't be using filters, and if I'm going to shoot action content, I'm shooting during the day, and I'm mostly going to leave my camera on auto. And it does the job and maintains the exposure pretty well. The overall image is not too bright and not too dark. But if you're trying to expand your world and trying to follow these filmmaking rules, like following the 180-degree rule, and you want to try to film something like this, like a talking headshot, or maybe incorporate more motion blur, then using an ND filter can help with just that. We got several filters here for different strengths. ND8 is good for cloudy days. ND16 is good for normal sunny conditions. ND32 is where you're shooting directly into the sun. For the last filter, we have the circular polarizing filter, which helps cut out reflections from water, cars, generally anything with a reflective surface. Once you start using these filters, you go from an image that looks like obviously shot on an action camera to, wait, what was this shot on? Especially if you incorporate the ND1000 filter. If you're into photos, you can get these kinds of smooth looking photos of water. I have a video on this on the works, so be sure to subscribe. These Action 5 filters by Neewer are $39 US. Now with these filters, your footage is looking more cinematic. But none of that really matters if you run out of storage mid-shoot or can't even get your footage off your camera quickly enough. So our next accessory or accessories solves both problems. This is really a two-part solution. The first being serious storage. I have a 512 gigabyte micro SD card, which can be excessive, but when you're shooting something like 4K at 60 frames per second or 4K 120 frames per second, well, our camera can just eat storage for breakfast. I mean, it's like an Asian on white rice. You know what that's like if you like rice like me. At the very least, 128 gigabytes will be enough to cover the videos and photos that you want to go ahead and capture on your Action 5. But even if you fill up half of your card, you'll know that once you plug this camera into your computer, you're gonna have a tough time. Because you're gonna realize that over time, it takes a long time to transfer. So that's where I recommend the Anker USB-C card reader. You pop out your SD card from this camera, plug it into your card reader, connected to your computer or phone, and you're transferring files at full speed. No more waiting for slow wireless transfers or even slow USB cable transfers. With these two alone, you'll be shooting all day and you'll be happy to transfer your footage by the end of it, and all in a timely manner. The Anker USB-C SD card reader goes for $17 USD, and the 512GB micro SD card goes for $42 USD. For most people, the 120GB is perfectly fine, and that's for $21 US. Just make sure to offload your footage by the end of the day. Storage and transfers handled, but what about the power? Because there's nothing worse than your camera dying right when the action gets good. So the next accessory solves this problem completely, or at least it gets you ready for it. 3 batteries and a charger, or multiple batteries and a charger. Action cameras and battery life have never been friends. Yes, the Action 5 batteries have improved, at least that's what they said. I haven't owned the previous one, but even if it has, without a doubt, you cannot let your camera live by one battery alone. So that's why I decided to get the Adventure Combo, where I get 3 batteries in total. You may not need 3, but definitely 2. You can at least keep one in your pocket, one in the camera, or one in your bag and one in the camera. Just make sure you have more than one. Action cameras are one of the simplest cameras to set up and forget about, whether you mount it to your car, to yourself, or somewhere else, like for behind the scenes. If you're shooting in 1080p, you can make that battery last a long time. But if you're shooting in 4K, that's when you need that battery solution, because who wants to walk back to the camera with the battery run out? Now, we can't open the side door of the Action 5 and plug in our power bank, but when it comes to putting our camera in the elements of like rain or maybe snow, thunder, whatever it may be, it's best just to stop and just change the battery, or just have that battery on standby. The Osmo Action 5 does have an Adventure Combo that includes spare batteries or extra batteries, but you can buy the K and F concept version for $45 US if you have not availed that Adventure Combo. Battery solution, check. But sometimes we need to extend our reach to get those perfect selfie shots, or maybe telescopic shots. The next accessory might seem basic, but it's way more versatile than you think. We can't dismiss the humble selfie stick. Yes, we can attach our camera to the end of it and point it right back at ourselves. Boom, we got our selfie shot. Have you ever thought to use these selfie sticks as like a boom pole to get overhead shots, or perhaps to get unique shots in high places, whether the leaves in the trees or even over the edge of railings that protect you from falling from high places? Yep, you won't catch me there. But if you're like me and don't want anything to deal with heights, then using your selfie stick as a tripod is good enough as well. Look for one with a 1/4 inch 20 thread and attach it to a mini tripod at the bottom. Boom! Instant extended tripod when you need it. See, it's got multiple uses, not just for selfies. The selfie stick that I got was also part of the Adventure Combo, but you can get something like the one that they have here from Telesin for $29 US. Now, after all this mounting and extending, you're gonna want to protect that screen from all the action. The next accessory is the most affordable on this list, but skipping it could cost you hundreds. Screen protector. This is a $400 camera, not a disposable toy. You're gonna use this in conditions that would terrify your phone. So this is where getting a screen protector is going to be your next best investment. You wanna get the tempered glass version and not plastic film. If any of your screens or glass takes a hit, then the tempered glass should be good enough for a single crack or a single hit impact. Once it does, get a new screen protector. I applied a screen protector also to my lens, although these lenses are now replaceable, but I'd rather spend $7 for tempered glass instead of spending $29 US for the original lens of this camera. Now that we got our priorities straight, there's still the one accessory that is the most essential for anyone talking to the camera, and it's the DJI Mic Mini. This microphone system is a game changer for the Action 5 audio. It's tiny, it's wireless, and connects directly to the camera. The audio quality and the price for it is also great. This is the sample footage of how the camera works. Right now, this is on Rocksteady Plus mode. As someone who's already used something like the Pocket 3, and this is already a nice, stable footage. The only thing is I don't like how it rocks back and forth. Yes, we can connect any microphone directly into this camera, with the right adapters, but when we're using the DJI Mic Mini, we're able to connect wirelessly, seamlessly, and automatically as soon as we turn this thing on. It's perfect for vlogging, interviews, or any situation where you need clean audio without being tethered to your camera. Plus, it's so small, you can clip it anywhere and forget it's there. It's not distracting when people look at you or even watch your videos. The mic won't scream for attention, but it'll give you attention from your audience because of how good your audio quality is. If you are the only person talking to the camera, getting the single transmitter will be perfectly fine for $59 US. It also comes in white, by the way. The Action 5 allows for connecting up to 2 transmitters, so if you plan to use this for interviews, then you may want to consider getting that, one for you and one for your guest. As simple as it is, the DJI Mic Mini just connects so smoothly with this and makes content creation so much easier. So there you have it, the 10 accessories that unlocked my Action 5 from a good camera into an incredible filmmaking tool, or photography. Now that we got our gear sorted out, are your camera settings dialed in correctly? Check out this video over here where I break down the exact settings that I use to maximize the look coming out of this camera. Thanks for watching. Now go out there and shoot for the life that matters. See ya.